Hey everyone, today we're diving into something that can truly change your life, forming positive habits. We all want to be better versions of ourselves, right? Whether it's exercising more, eating healthier, or just being more productive. The key lies in our habits. So let's break it down into 3 simple steps that are backed by science and psychology. So let's get started. Step 1. Understanding the actual psychology of habits. First things first, let's talk about what a habit actually is. According to Charles Duhigg, in his book The Power of Habit, habits are formed through a 3-part loop. There's the cue. This is the trigger that starts the habit. It could be anything from a time of day to an emotional state. Then there's the routine. This is the behaviour you want to turn into a habit. And finally, the reward. This is what you get out of doing the habit, which reinforces the behaviour. Habits are powerful because they operate automatically. The more we repeat behaviour in response to a cue, the more ingrained it becomes. Over time, it requires less mental energy to perform these actions. Think about brushing your teeth or driving to work. These are habits you do without much thought. So what's the science behind it? Neuroscientists have discovered that habits are stored in a part of the brain called the basal ganglia, which is responsible for automatic behaviours. When you first start a new behaviour, your prefrontal cortex, the decision-making part of your brain, is heavily involved. But as that behaviour becomes habit, the basal ganglia takes over, freeing up the prefrontal cortex to focus on other tasks. So how can we use this information? Identify your cues. Pay attention to what triggers your current habits. Is it certain times of day, an emotional state? Decide on a routine. Choose the positive behaviour you want to turn into a habit. And then choose a reward. Make sure you have a reward that reinforces the habit. It could be a small treat, a feeling of accomplishment, or even just a few moments of relaxation. Step 2. Start small and be consistent. Dr. B.J. Fogg, a behavioural scientist at Stanford University, emphasises the importance of starting small. He calls this the tiny habits method. The idea is to make your new habit so small that it's almost impossible to fail. For example, if you want to start with flossing, just start with 1 tooth. Or if you want to start exercising, begin with just 5 minutes a day. Why do these small steps work? Because they're less intimidating and easier to stick with. When you start small, you become more likely to succeed and build momentum. This is supported by the concept of success spirals in psychology. Each small success boosts your confidence and makes it easier to tackle bigger challenges. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, talks about the importance of being consistent rather than intense. It's better to do a little bit every day than to go all out and burn out. Consistency helps reinforce the habit loop that we talked about earlier, making the behaviour more automatic over time. So how can we implement this into our lives? Firstly, we can break it down. Whatever habit you want to form, break it down into the smallest possible actions. Set a schedule. Consistency is key. Try to perform your new habit at the same time every day. And then finally, track your progress. Use a habit tracker or a journal to keep track of your progress. Seeing these check marks can be incredibly motivating. And finally, step 3. Use positive reinforcement and adjust as needed. Positive reinforcement is crucial in forming new habits. When you reward yourself for completing a habit, you're more likely to repeat the behaviour. This is because reward triggers the release of dopamine in the brain, which makes you feel good and reinforces the behaviour. There are different types of rewards, so let's have a look at these. Immediate rewards. These are rewards you get right after completing the habit. For example, after working out, you might enjoy a smoothie or a few minutes of relaxation. There's intrinsic rewards. These are the internal benefits you get from the habit itself, like the feeling of accomplishment or improved mood. And then there's extrinsic rewards. These are external rewards, like treating yourself to something nice after a week of consistent behaviour. It's important to be flexible and adjust your approach if needed. If you find that a particular routine or reward isn't working for you, don't be afraid to change it up. The key is to find what works best for you and keeps you motivated. So how to apply this? Well, reward yourself. Make sure you have a reward system in place that you look forward to. Reflect and adjust on your progress and make changes as needed. If something isn't working, try a different approach. And then stay positive. Remember that forming new habits takes time. Celebrate your progress no matter how small and keep pushing forwards. So let's put it all together. Number 1, understand the psychology of habits. Know how habits work. Identify your cues, routines and rewards. Number 2, start small and be consistent. Begin with tiny habits. Be consistent and track your progress. And number 3, use positive reinforcement and adjust as needed. Reward yourself, adjust your approach, and stay positive. By following these science-backed steps, you'll be able to create lasting positive habits that contribute to your overall self-improvement. So start small, be consistent, and celebrate your progress along the way. Thank you so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you next time.